Wizard World Comic Con in Fort Lauderdale. Special guest, one of the premier guests that's going to be at this event, Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. Lou, thank you so much. I first want to ask you, what is it like being in South Florida, being in Fort Lauderdale?
Well, great to be here because I never spent much time in Florida. I'm excited about this weekend for the comic convention. Thank God it's inside because we're talking in the lobby now because mosquitoes love me. So as long as I'm not outside. But the people are very nice here. I feel like I'm on vacation here.
Lou, in South Florida, there's a big event, Comic-Con, and a lot has to do with the comic books and the characters, and of course the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, it's an iconic character. Talk about when you became that character on TV and working with Bill Bixby.
Well, it's great because I was training for competition. Then when I went to the audition for the Hulk, it was like in 24 hours I won the audition, and then I'm filming at the Hulk. It's like a dream coming true because I used to love the Hulk comic. I was the Hulk my whole life. I know how he thinks and feels, so I brought that to the character, and the show became an overnight sensation.
And what was it like working with Bill Bixby?
Great. Bill's a great guy, very witty, very sharp, smart, a good actor, director, and producer. I learned a lot from him. He was like my mentor.
How is that too when you're working a show and you have to switch like that? And I know there's takes and cuts and things like that, but still, you have to go from Bill Bixby's character, and then you have to go into Lou Ferrigno, Bill Bixby as the Hulk. What was that process like, just doing that?
Well, it's interesting because I will watch the scene before I become the Hulk, what he went through, because this way I can adapt myself to the scene and then follow through, because not you coming on the screen, so I have all the direction. I watch Bill, and I get all motivated knowing that, okay, this is how to deal with the scene, especially if he's getting beat up or if he's being abused or being angry, how I could just follow him. So it wasn't that easy because I wanted to bring sensitivity to the character. At the same time, your first scene was like this hideous beast.
You also were a fan of Spider-Man and some of the other comic books that you were into when you were young.
Well, I love those kind of comic characters because I was obsessed with power. Like Spider-Man was powerful with the web shooter, Superman with the power. The Hulk, though, was my favorite because with the physicality, with the muscle. So I related to the Hulk. And you know, at the beginning, as a bodybuilder, I wanted to be a world champion. So all that fell into place.
When you mentioned too the character, the Hulk, nowadays you see so many movies being made of the comic book characters like that, the superheroes. What's it like for you to be involved in some of those creations, and it's just going strong today still?
Well, because I do the voice for the Hulk of the Adventures, I'm glad to still be connected with the Hulk because that's like icing on the cake. And I know that nothing will ever equate the TV series. Because when you have the TV series with the human, CGI is not quite the same, but that's what people want to see today, CGI.
Now I'm going to bring up a little pro wrestling because you're from Brooklyn and New York is a huge pro wrestling area. And I want to ask you, when you were young, who did you like as a wrestler, and did you go to any shows when you were young?
Well, you had Killer Kowalski, you had Bruno Sammartino, you had Haystack Calhoun. Those were real wrestlers. I loved it because Bruno was very powerful. And I used to watch that on weekends, and sometimes I used to go to the wrestling competition nighttime in Madison Square Garden. Just something to do because it's all about gladiators, it's about courage.
Now you mentioned Bruno Sammartino too, and it's something because between Arnold Schwarzenegger, yourself, and Bruno, three very strong, physically fit people. What was it like, the three of you? And have you ever, did you get a chance ever to meet Bruno?
Yes, I've known Bruno. It was interesting that when I competed against Arnold in 1974, Mr. Olympia competition, Bruno was the judge.
That's right, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what was that like then? Because here you are competing in this competition, and you have somebody that you saw growing up, Bruno Sammartino, and all of a sudden he's now your judge.
Well, I was only a kid. I was 22. Arnold was like 28, I believe. And he had so many years on me, but I was excited to be on the same stage and see Bruno being a judge because it gave him clout and gave him respect too.
Why do you think Bruno was so successful in what he did?
Because he came from nothing. And his passion was wrestling. And he's good to the people, he's good to his fans, and he loved what he did. And I would say, as a wrestler back then, a lot of wrestlers today couldn't match him because he was a true die-hard wrestler.
you did something, I saw this on YouTube, you did something with a TNA Impact Wrestling where Mick Foley comes in and he was supposed to meet another Hulk
Yeah.
and he ends up meeting you. How was that? What was that like for you to just interact
That was
with Mick?
great because he came to my house because I've worked with Mick before. He's a great guy.
He's a New York guy too.
Yeah, exactly. From Long Island, so it was great to I had a chance to be together with him.
And I had to ask you, because you mentioned Killer Kowalski and Haystacks Calhoun. Haystacks Calhoun, for people that didn't know, was this mountain of a man, like 500 and something pounds and all. And did you ever get to see him when you went to Madison Square Garden wrestle? Did you ever, or just see him on TV?
I've seen Bruno pick him up and throw him. I mean, he takes an incredible feat of strength, how powerful he was. Because I think in his prime, he benched way over 400 pounds. Bruno was strong. He trained in this City Health Club in New York. And I used to go to the city sometimes. I used to see Bruno there and now. But you know, wrestling too, also, not just bodybuilding, it's also about heavy lifting and power. I love the power issue.
Did you ever work out with Bruno?
No, never did.
No, just went there and saw that, but that was where you worked out. I've asked you, did you ever work out with Arnold?
Yeah, I trained with him last week. I see him over the years. He's back in the game working out, keeping in shape, which I think is great.
Well, Lou, you're in tremendous shape, and I want to ask you, what type of things are you doing to keep yourself in shape
I'm
nowadays?
very consistent. I train 5 to 6 days a week. I watch what I eat good, and I've been working out now for 52 years.
God bless you. Now I'm going to turn this over to a WWE Hall of Famer. I didn't know if you know that, but he's a WWE Hall of Famer, Donald Trump, and he's the Celebrity Apprentice, which you were on. What was that experience, being on that show and interacting with him?
Well, it was great because I was the only athlete to make it to 9 shows, and they were afraid of me because I speak my mind. I was very happy, and I love Donald because he helped me raise $100,000 for my charity, ALS. That must be this.
What do you think about Donald Trump running for president?
I think he's the best choice we have. I think he'll do a great job, and I just wish him luck and see what happens. I just hope that he keeps fighting.
Lou, what if Donald Trump called and said, okay, Lou, I'm running for president, I got the bid, I got the nod, I want you to be my vice president?
I'll do it in a second.
Now I'm going to ask you too about USC football. Your son played a little bit of USC football. What experience was that like? And being around college football, because that's a huge program.
Well, he loves football and everything, and then he had a knee injury, but now he's in acting, so I don't have to worry about him.
And I also want to throw this at you about Hulk Hogan. Have you ever met Hulk Hogan?
I met him a couple of times.
What was it like just for you two? Because you were the original Incredible Hulk. And I find it a form of flattery that the wrestling organization decided to take this character and sort of transform it in their own way into another character. And Lou, in wrestling, it just went wild, it went crazy, the Hulkamania and all like that. Do you have any thoughts on just how they took it and did what they did and how successful it became?
Well, everybody knows it's wrestling, but everybody knows who the real Hulk is.
Thank you so much, Lou.
Thank you.